So this is chapter in Madhya Lila, chapter 10, verse number 80, and then we'll kind of go on. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. So when Advaitacharya Goswami heard of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's return, he became very pleased. In his ecstasy of love, he made a rumbling sound and danced and chanted for a long time. Also hearing of the auspicious news of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's return to Jagannath Puri, Haridas Thakur became very pleased. So also did Vasudev Dutt, Murari Gupta, Shivananda Sen, Acharya Ratna, Vakreshwara Pandit, Acharya Nidhi, Gadadhar Pandit were all pleased to hear the news. Sriman Pandit, Damodar Pandit, Sriman Pandit, Vijay, Sridhar were also pleased to hear the news. Raghava Pandit, Nandanacharya, and all the devotees became very satisfied. How many can I describe? Everyone was pleased, and they all gathered together in the house of Advaitacharya. And in return, Advaitacharya embraced them all. Advaitacharya then held a festival that lasted 2 or 3 days. Thereafter, they all made a firm decision to go to Jagannath Puri. All the devotees met together at Navadvip, and with Mother Sachi's permission departed for Niladri, Jagannath Puri. The inhabitants of Kulyagram, Satyaraj, Ramananda, and all other devotees there came and joined Advaitacharya. Mukunda, Narahari, Raghunandan, and all others came from Kanda to Advaitacharya's home to accompany him to Jagannath Puri. At that time, Paramananda Puri came from South India. Traveling along the banks of the Ganges, he ultimately reached the town of Nadia. At Navadvip, Paramananda Puri took his board and lodging in the house of Sachimata. She provided him with everything very respectfully. While residing at the house of Sachimata, Paramananda Puri heard news of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's return to Jagannath Puri. He therefore decided to go there as soon as possible. There was a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu named Dvija Kamlakanta, who Paramananda Puri took with him to Jagannath Puri. Paramananda Puri soon arrived at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place. The Lord was very happy to see him. In the great ecstasy of love, the Lord worshipped the lotus feet of Paramananda Puri, and in turn, Paramananda Puri embraced the Lord in great ecstasy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Please stay with me and show me favor, accepting the shelter of Jagannath Puri." Paramananda Puri replied, "I also wish to stay with you. Therefore I have come from Bengal, Gaudiya, to Jagannath Puri." At Navadvip, Mother Sachi and all the other devotees were glad to hear about your return from South India. They are all coming here to see you, but seeing that they were delayed, I came alone very quickly. There was a solitary room in Kashi Mishra's house, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it to Paramananda Puri. He also gave him a servant. Swarup Damodar also arrived the next day. He was a very intimate friend of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was an ocean of transcendental mellows. When Swarup Damodar was residing at Navadvip, under the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his name was Purushottam Acharya. After seeing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order, Purushottam Acharya became like a madman and immediately went to Varanasi to take sannyas. At the conclusion of his sannyas, his spiritual master, Chaitanya Bharati, ordered him, read Vedanta Sutra and teach it to all others. Swarup Damodar was a great renunciate as well as a great learned scholar. With heart and soul, he took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He was very enthusiastic to worship Sri Krishna without disturbance, and therefore, almost in madness, he accepted the sannyas order. Upon accepting sannyas, Purushottam Acharya followed the regulative principles by giving up his tuft of hair and sacred thread, but he did not accept the saffron-colored dress. Also, he did not accept the sannyasi title, but remained a Naistika brahmachari. After taking permission from his sannyas guru, Swarup Damodar went to Nilachal and accepted the shelter of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Then all day and night, in ecstatic love of Krishna, he enjoyed transcendental mellows in the loving shelter of the Lord. Swarup Damodar was the limit of learned scholarship, but he did not exchange words with anyone. He simply remained in a solitary place, and no one could understand where he was. Sri Swarup Damodar was a personification of ecstatic love, fully cognizant of the transcendental mellows in relationship with Krishna. He directly represented Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu as his second expansion. If anyone wrote a book or composed verses and songs and wanted to recite them before Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar would first examine them and then correctly present them. Only then would Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu agree to listen. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu was never pleased to hear books or verses opposed to the conclusive statements of devotional service. The Lord did not like hearing rasabhas, the overlapping of transcendental mellows. It was the practice of Swarup Damodar Goswami to examine all the literatures to find out whether their conclusions were correct. Only then would he allow them to be heard by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Swarup Damodar used to read the poems of Vidyapati and Chandidash and Jayadev Goswami, Sri Gita Govinda. He used to make Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very happy by singing these songs. Swarup Damodar was as expert a musician as the Gandharvas, and in scriptural discussion he was just like Brihaspati, the priest of the heavenly gods. Therefore it is concluded there is no personality quite like Swarup Damodar. Sri Swarup Damodar was very dear to Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu, and he was the life and soul of all the devotees, headed by Srivas Thakur. When Swarup Damodar came to Jagannath Puri, he fell flat before the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, offering him obeisances and reciting a verse. O ocean of mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy, which easily drives away all kinds of material lamentation by making everything pure and blissful. Indeed, your mercy awakens transcendental bliss and covers all material pleasures. By your auspicious mercy, quarrels and disagreements arising from different scriptures are vanquished. Your auspicious mercy pours forth transcendental mellows and causes the heart to jubilate. Your mercy, which is full of joy, always stimulates devotional service and glorifies the conjugal love of God. May transcendental bliss be awakened within my heart by your causeless mercy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised Swarup Damodar to his feet and embraced him. They both became ecstatic in love and fell unconscious. After they had regained their patience, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to speak. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I saw in a dream that you were coming, and this is very auspicious. I've been like a blind man, but your coming here restores my vision. Swarup said, My dear Lord, please excuse my offense. I gave up your company to go elsewhere, and that is my great mistake. My dear Lord, I do not possess even a trace of love for your lotus feet. If I did, how could I have gone to another country? I am therefore a most sinful man. I gave up your company, but you did not give me up. By your rope of mercy, you have bound me by the neck and brought me back to your lotus feet. Swarup Damodar then worshipped the lotus feet of Nityananda, and Nityananda Prabhu then in turn embraced him in ecstasy of love. After worshipping Nityananda Prabhu, Swarup Damodar met Jagadananda, Mukunda, Sankara, and Sarvabhauma, as was fitting. Swarup Damodar also offered his worshipable prayers at the lotus feet of Paramananda Puri, who in turn embraced him in ecstatic love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then gave Swarup Damodar a residence in a solitary place. And ordered a servant to serve him with a supply of water and other necessities. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat with all the devotees, headed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and they discussed the pastimes of Krishna. At that time, Govinda appeared on the scene, offered his respectful obeisances and spoke submissively. I am the servant of Ishvara Puri. My name is Govinda, and following the orders of my spiritual master, I have come here. Just before his departure from this mortal world to attain the highest perfection, Ishvara Puri told me I should go to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and render service to him. Kashiva. Kashishvara will also come here after visiting all the holy places. However, following the orders of my spiritual master, I have hastily come to be present at your lotus feet. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, my spiritual master Ishvara Puri always favors me with paternal affection. Therefore, out of his causeless mercy, he has sent you here. After hearing this, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why did Ishvara Puri keep a servant who comes from a Sudra family? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, both the Supreme Personality of Godhead and my spiritual master, Ishvara Puri, are completely independent. Therefore, neither the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead nor that of Ishvara Puri is subject to any Vedic rules or regulations. The mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not restricted by the jurisdiction of caste and creed. Vidura was a Sudra, yet Krishna accepted lunch at his home. Lord Krishna's mercy is dependent only on affection. Being obliged only by affection, Lord Krishna acts very independently. In conclusion, dealings in affection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead brings happiness many millions of times greater than dealings with him in awe and veneration. Simply by hearing the holy name of the Lord, the devotee is merged in transcendental bliss. After saying this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Govinda, and Govinda in turn offered his respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then continued speaking to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Consider this point. The servant of the spiritual master is always respectable for me. As such, it is not befitting that the Guru's servant should engage in my personal servants. Yet my spiritual master has given this order. What shall I do? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, the order of the spiritual master is very strong. It cannot be disobeyed. That is the injunction of the Shastras, the revelation of the scriptures. Being ordered by his father, Parashuram killed his mother, Renuku, just as she were an enemy. When Lakshman, the younger brother, of Lord Ramachandra heard of this, he immediately engaged himself in the service of his elder brother and accepted his orders. The order of the spiritual master must be obeyed without consideration. The order of a great personality like a father must be executed without consideration, because it is good fortune in such an order for both of us. In particular, there is good fortune for me. After Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Govinda and engaged him in the service of his personal body. Everyone respected Govinda as the dearest servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Govinda served all the Vaishnavas and saw to their needs. Both Haridas Sr. and Haridas Jr., who were musicians, as well as Ramai and Nandi, used to stay with Govinda. They all remained with Govinda to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, no one could estimate the good fortune of Govinda. The next day, Mukunda Datta informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Brahmana Bharti has come to see you. Mukunda Datta then asked the Lord, shall I bring him here? After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees came into the presence of Brahmananda Bharti. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached him, they saw he was covered with a deer skin. Seeing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very unhappy. Seeing Brahmana Bharti wearing a deer skin, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pretended not to see him. Instead, he asked Mukunda Datta, where is Brahmananda Bharti, my spiritual master? Mukunda Datta replied, here is Brahmananda Bharti in your presence. You must be talking of someone else, for surely this is not Brahmana Bharti. You simply have no knowledge. Why should Brahmana Bharti wear a deer skin? When Brahmana Bharti heard this, he thought, my deer skin is not approved by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, admitting his mistake, Brahmana Bharti thought he spoke well. I put on this deer skin only for prestige. I cannot cross over the ocean of Nishans simply by wearing a deer skin. From today on, I shall not wear this deer skin. As soon as Brahmana Bharti decided this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding his mind, immediately sent for the robes of a sannyasi. As soon as Brahmana Bharti gave up his deer skin and covered himself with sannyasi robes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and offered his respects at his lotus feet. Brahmana Bharti said, you instruct the general populace by your behavior. I will not do anything against your wishes. Otherwise, you will not offer respects, but will neglect me. I am very afraid of this. At the present moment, I see two Brahmins. One Brahmin is Lord Jagannath, who does not move, and the other Brahmin is moving, is you. Lord Jagannath is the Archa-Vigraha, the worshipable deity, and it is he who is the non-moving Brahman. But you are Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you are moving here and there. The two of you are the same Brahman, master of the material nature, but you are playing two parts, one moving and one not moving. In this way, two Brahmins are now residing at Jagannath Puri, Purushottam. Of the two Brahmins, you are the fair complexion, and the other, Lord Jagannath, is blackish. Both of you are delivering the whole world. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, actually, to tell you the truth, due to your presence, there are now two Brahmins in Jagannath Puri. Both Brahmananda and Gaurahari are moving, whereas the blackish Lord Jagannath is sitting tight and immobile. Brahmananda Bharti said, my dear Sarvabhauma, please become the mediator in this logical argument between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and me. Brahmananda Bharti continued, the living entity is localized, whereas the Supreme Brahman is all-pervading. That is the verdict of the revealed scriptures. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu purified me by taking away my deerskin. This is proof that he is the all-pervasive and all-powerful, and I am subordinate to him. His bodily hue is golden, and his whole body is like molten gold. Every part of his body is very beautifully constructed and smeared with sandalwood pulp. Accepting the renounced order, the Lord is always equipoised. He is firmly fixed in his mission of chanting Hare Krishna mantra. And he is firmly situated in the dualistic conclusion and in his peace. All the symptoms mentioned in the verse from the Vishnu Saharsha Nam Srota are visible in the body of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. His arms are decorated with sandalwood pulp and the thread received from the Jagannath deity, and all these are his ornamental bangles. After hearing this, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya rendered his judgment, saying, Brahmananda Bharti, I see you are victorious. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu thus posed himself as a disciple and accepted Brahmananda Bharti as his spiritual master. He then said the disciple is certainly defeated in an argument with the spiritual master. It is your natural character. Brahmananda Bharti said, actually, it is your natural characteristic to accept defeat at the hands of your devotee. There is also another glory of yours, which I shall ask you to hear attentively. I have been meditating on impersonal Brahman since my birth, but since I have seen you, I have fully experienced Krishna. Brahmananda Bharti continued, since I have seen you, I have been feeling Lord Krishna's presence in my mind, and have been seeing him before my eyes. I now want to chant the holy name of Krishna. Over and above this, within my heart I consider you to be Krishna, and therefore am very eager to serve you. Bimal Mangal Thakur abandoned his impersonal realization for the realization of the personality of Godhead. I now see that my condition is similar to his, for it has already changed. Brahmananda Bharti concluded, although I was worshipped by those on the path of monism and initiated into self-realization through the yoga system, I have nonetheless been forcibly turned into a maidservant by some cunning boy who is always joking with the gopis. Lord Sri Krishna replied, you have deep ecstatic love for Krishna. Therefore, wherever you turn your eyes, you simply heighten your Krishna consciousness. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, the statements of both of you are correct. Krishna gives direct audience through his mercy. Without having ecstatic love for Krishna, one cannot see him directly. Therefore, through the mercy of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Brahmananda Bharti has acquired direct vision of the Lord. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sarvabhauma, what are you saying? Lord Vishnu, save me. Such glorification is simply another form of blasphemy. After saying this, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu took Brahmananda Bharti with him to his residence. From that time on, Brahmananda Bharti remained with Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Later, Ramabhadra Acharya and Bhagavan Acharya joined them, and giving up all other responsibilities, remained under Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's shelter. Welcome, Vishwamani. Please accept my greetings. Kashishvar used to usher Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu into the Jagannath temple. He would precede the Lord into the crowd and keep people from touching him. As rivers flow into the sea, all the devotees throughout the country finally came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shelter. Since all the devotees came to his shelter, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed them all mercy and kept them under his protection. Thus I have described the meaning of all the Vaishnavas with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whoever hears this description ultimately attains the shelter of his lotus feet, praying at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. Hare Krishna Das. There are Caitanya Caritamrita following in their footsteps. Let's read the next chapter. That was so good. There's a lot to talk about in these verses. I just couldn't do it. I just wanted to just hear it, just hear everything, you know. Oh, this is a good one. The Vedic pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu merged the entire world into the ocean of ecstatic love by performing his beautiful dances when the temple of Jagannath. He danced exquisitely and jumped high. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Prabhu, and all glories to all the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The next day, Sarvabhauma requested Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give him permission to submit a statement without fear. Well, thank you for hearing. Without an audience, I wouldn't be reading. So all of us benefit in this. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. The next day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya requested Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give him permission to submit a statement without fear. The Lord gave the Bhattacharya assurance that he could speak without fear, but added if his statement were suitable, he would accept it. If it were not, he would reject it. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, "There is a king named Bhattaparuja Roy. He is very anxious to meet you, and he wants your permission." As soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this proposal, he immediately covered his ears with his hands and said, "My dear Sarvabhauma, why are you requesting such an undesirable thing from me?" What a play the Lord does. Since I am in the renounced order, it is dangerous for me to meet a king as it is to meet a woman. To meet either would be just like drinking poison. Greatly lamenting, the Lord was informed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, "Alas, for a person who is seriously desiring to cross the material ocean and engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord without material motives, seeing a materialist engaged in sense gratification, or see a woman who is similarly interested, is more abominable than drinking poison willingly." Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, "My dear Lord, what you have said is correct. But this king is not an ordinary king. He is a great devotee and servant of Lord Jagannath." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Although it is correct, the king is a great devotee, he is still to be considered a venomous snake." Similarly, even though a woman be made of wood, one becomes agitated simply by touching her form. So the Lord was trying to, be strict in the sannyas ashram back then and teach the sannyasis, At this time, Maharaj Prataparuja arrived at Jagannath Puri Purushottam and accompanied by his secretaries, ministers, and military officers, went to the temple of Lord Jagannath. When King Prataparuja returned to Jagannath Puri, Ramananda Roy came with him. Ramananda Roy immediately went to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great pleasure. Upon meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Roy offered his obeisances. The Lord embraced him, and both of them began to cry in the great ecstasy of love. Seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intimate dealings with Sri Ramananda Roy, all the devotees were astonished. Ramananda Roy said, "I duly informed Prataparuja of your order for me to retire from your service. By your grace, the king was pleased to relieve me of these material activities." I said, "Your Majesty, I am now not willing to engage in political activities. I desire only to stay at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kindly give me permission." When I submitted this proposal, the king immediately became pleased, and upon hearing your name, indeed he instantly rose from his seat and embraced me. My dear Lord, as soon as the king heard your holy name, he was immediately overwhelmed with great ecstatic love. Catching my hand, he displayed all the symptoms of love. As soon as he heard my petition, he immediately granted me a pension without reductions. Thus the king granted me a full salary as a pension and requested me to engage without anxiety in the service of your lotus feet. Then Maharaj Prataparuja humbly said, "I am the most fallen and abominable and unfit to receive an interview with the Lord. One's life is successful if he engages in his service." The king then said, "Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. He is very merciful, and I hope in a future birth he will grant me an interview. My Lord, I don't think there is even a fraction of Maharaj Prataparuja's loving ecstasy in me." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "My dear Ramananda, you are the foremost of all the devotees of Krishna. Therefore, whoever loves you is certainly a fortunate person. Because the king has shown so much love for you, Lord Krishna will certainly accept you." Lord Krishna told Arjuna, "Those who are my direct devotees are actually not my devotees, but those who are the devotees of my servant are factually my devotees. My devotees take great care and respect in rendering me service. They offer obeisances to me with all their bodily limbs. They worship other devotees and find all living entities related to me. For me, they engage the entire energy of their bodies. They engage the power of speech and the glorification of my qualities and form. They also dedicate their minds unto me and try to give up all kinds of material desires. Thus my devotees are characterized." Lord Shiva told the goddess Durga, "My dear Devi, although the Vedas recommend worship of demigods, the worship of Lord Vishnu is topmost. However, above the worship of Lord Vishnu is the rendering of service to Vaishnavas who are related to Lord Vishnu. Those whose austerity is meager can hardly obtain the service of the pure devotees, progressing on the path back to the kingdom of Godhead, the Vaikunthas. Pure devotees engage 100% in glorifying the Supreme Lord, who is the Lord of the demigods and the controller of all living entities. Brahmananda Puri, Bharti Gosani, and Swarup Damanar Lord Nityananda, Jagadananda, Mukunda, and others were present before the Lord at that time. Sri Ramananda Roy therefore offered his obeisances to all the Lord's devotees, in particular the 4 spiritual masters. Thus Ramananda Roy suitably met all the devotees. How much mucus can there be in a body, man? Oh. Oh. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu next asked Ramananda Roy, "You already visited the temple of the lotus-eyed Lord Jagannath?" Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, oh, boy, they're missing verses in here, really nice ones. I gotta find a book where they have everything. This is not good. I know every verse, they've missed many verses here. They're really nice ones. Have you already visited the lotus-eyed Lord Jagannath? And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "What have you done, my dear Roy? Why did you not see Lord Jagannath and then come here? Why have you come here first?" And Ramananda Roy said, "The legs are like a chariot, and the heart is like a charioteer. Wherever the heart takes the living entity is obliged to go." Sri Ramananda Roy continued, "What shall I do? My mind has brought me here. I could not consider going first to Lord Jagannath temple." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised, "Immediately go to Lord Jagannath's temple to see the Lord. Then go home and meet your family members." Having received Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's permission, Ramananda Roy hastily went to the temple of Jagannath. Who can understand the devotional service of Roy Ramananda? When King Prataparudra returned to Jagannath Puri, he called for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When the Bhattacharya went to see the king offered him respects and made the following inquiries. The king asked, "Have you submitted my petition to the Lord?" And Sarvabhauma said, "Yes, with great endeavor. The Lord would not. Yes, I did. Yet, despite my great endeavor, the Lord would not agree to see a king. Indeed, he said that if he were asked again, he would quit Jagannath Puri and go elsewhere." Hearing this, the king became very unhappy, and greatly lamenting, began to speak as follows. The king said, "Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has descended just to deliver all kinds of low-born persons. Consequently, he has delivered sinners like Janai and Balai." Chant a little bit here for a bit. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama. Nice story, huh? Wow. A lot of mercy in this story. These stories. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 O ocean of mercy, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy. O ocean of mercy, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy, which easily drives away all kinds of material lamentation, by making everything pure and blissful. Indeed, your mercy awakens transcendental bliss and covers all material pleasures. By your auspicious mercy, quarrels and disagreements among various different scriptures are vanquished. Your auspicious mercy pours forth transcendental mellows and thus causes the heart to jubilate. Your mercy, which is full of joy, always stimulates devotional service and glorifies the conjugal love of God. May transcendental bliss be awakened within my heart by your causeless mercy. Sri Krishna Caitanya, 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 Sri Krishna Caitanya. So it's time for prescribed duties here. To move around a little bit, use the restroom, all that stuff. All right. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada, Jesus, all these wonderful devotees. All glories to Radha and Krishna and their wonderful associates and girlfriends and boyfriends and all of that. Hare Krishna.